schools. And there is another example, also recently example, which I'm giving you right now about it described the disaster situation of the woman, that a couple were accused of adultery in Kunduz province lost a case and stoned to death by Taliban. And also in Hor province, a woman was publicly lashed by powerful warlords in the presence of the local police chief. Same like Taliban time, we have jungle condition, jungle law in many provinces of Afghanistan. And also there's another report that a nephew of member of parliament, his name is Qazi Kabir, this cruel man enjoying right now in the non-democratic parliament of Afghanistan. And he kidnapped a young girl from a poor family in Takhar province, then brutally raped and then killed. And then again they kidnapped a young girl from the same family, and nobody knows right now that she's alive or not. And because of all of these domestic violences, some women, they escape from their houses. And let me give you the story of one woman. It will help you better to know about this misogynist government and those who are in power. She arrested and put in jail, and the conditions of jail is also horrible, that many of these women, they get raped there in the jail, even in the jail. And this woman going to the ministry office for women, and there she has been handed over to the head of the provincial council, this 17 years old girl. There, the head of provincial council put her in his room and twice raped her, but a brave local lawyer wants to follow this case because he is a powerful warlord. His name is Mia Hassan. He's telling him that if you like to be alive, don't follow this case. Those brave lawyers and journalists who are telling the truth, they are receiving lots of death threats. In the meantime, nobody listens to their voice because we have no justice here. Three forces in Afghanistan: judicial, legislative, and executive bodies infected with the vices of these fundamentalists. First of all, they are against women's rights. They are misogynist. And it also proved that how the Ministry Office for Women is symbolic. And they did nothing for Afghan women this 10 years. The US and NATO even, they misuse from the miseries of Afghan women. Maybe you hear the story of Bibi Aisha in the Time magazine. The headline says, what happened if troops leave Afghanistan? It means to the woman. But on behalf of my people, I'm telling them what's happening to the women while they are in Afghanistan. It was better if they wrote like this. By presence of tens of thousands of troops in Afghanistan, millions of Afghan, not only women, men and women, they suffer from injustice, insecurity, corruption, joblessness, poverty, and many other miseries. That day by day, the situation goes from worse to worse. Some people, they ask me how they can help Afghan women. My answer is this: first, war will never help Afghan women, not only women, men and women. Second, if they give chance to women of Afghanistan and progressive Afghan men, they will help us very well, and then we know what to do with our destiny. If they let us a little bit breathe in peace. So as long as the warlords are in power and now negotiating with the Taliban, there is no hope to come positive changes in the life of the men and women of my country. These terrorist Taliban that now, under the name of peace reconciliation, invite them to join this puppet corrupt mafia regime. They want to make complete the circle of warlordism, drug lordism, terrorism. And again, my people, especially women, will be the most victims. And during these 9 years of occupation, tens of thousands of innocent civilians has been killed. Most of them are women and children, innocent men. They use white phosphorus and also cluster bomb. In my own province, last year, 150 civilians in one day has been killed. Even they use white phosphorus. One student of the university, 19 members of his family in one day has been killed. Also, in Kunar province, recently 9 children has been killed by these occupation forces. Same crime happened, same massacre before of this one. 64 innocent civilians has been killed. But the mainstream media, they tell lies to you. Shamelessly, they decrease the number of civilian deaths and call them insurgents, terrorists. Many other examples of the war crime of the US and NATO in Afghanistan. Later, if we had time, I will share with you. I think these few examples is enough that what they are doing there under the name of democracy and human rights. Corruption is another big problem for my people. $30 billion Karzai's regime during these 9 years received, but it never benefit Afghan people. Most of these money went into pocket of these warlords, dragglers, even Taliban. These 9 years, Taliban directly and indirectly, they got support and had support of their foreign masters and brother who are in power, the warlords. And it's just family fighting between Taliban, warlords, and Karzai's puppet regime and their foreign masters. US and NATO try to fool not only Afghan people, their people too. They are telling you that they will leave Afghanistan by mid of 2011. But from another side, Karzai's regime is speaking about permanent military base, which is true that they will not leave my country soon. They are there because of their own strategy, regional and economic interest. And they never will bring women's rights, human rights. Otherwise, today Afghanistan was like heaven with that much money from the so-called international community that Karzai's regime received. No need to surge any troops in Afghanistan. But they keep the situation lawless, unsafe, insecure, to have a reason for you justice-loving people around the world to stay longer there, as I said earlier, because of their own interests. The plan for handing over responsibilities to Afghan army and police is just a trick to use Afghans as cannon fodder to decrease their own soldier casualties. And I want to tell you that nobody can believe that a massive military machine is a superpower is unable to defeat a bunch of terrorists like Taliban and these warlords who created by US government in religious school of Pakistan through ISIL, Syria, Afghanistan, their domination destroyed, and still they are playing the game of Tom and Jerry with these terrorists. And they are not serious in this fighting. They need to them, created them, don't want to lose them, because through them it's easier for them to occupy my country. They seem, because they are under pressure from the justice-loving people of these countries, their people. So they are searching for a so-called honorable solution in Afghanistan, same what they did in Vietnam. Anyway, they want to make powerful their puppet regime, that when they leave even Afghanistan, then their puppet regime is in power. They can control it and suppress more my innocent people, suffering people. And I think you justice-loving people of the US around the world agree with my people that the democracy never comes by killing innocent civilians, by military invasion, by war, by cluster bomb or white phosphorus. And right now there in Afghanistan, two kinds of resistance going on. One is the reactionary resistance of the Taliban, that the US government and NATO always try to make a mountain out of a molehill. Another is the resistance of ordinary Afghan people, students of the universities, democratic-minded parties, intellectuals, that they come on the streets, they do demonstration, but who listen to their voice? Even the media do not give report of this resistance to you, justice-loving people of the West. same they hate this fascist Taliban. And the history bears that the nation can liberate. This is the nation that they can only liberate themselves. No question, we need your helping hand. We need the helping hand of justice-loving people around the world, anti-war organizations, peace-loving organizations, human rights organizations, feminist organizations, intellectuals. They are the ones who must not leave us alone, and as much as they can, they can help, we need their support. And at the end, I want to ask you all, my message is that support my people educationally, because I believe education is a key toward emancipation. Heartfelt thanks once again for your solidarity and support, which gives us more hope, more courage, more determination that do not sit silent until the last bit. Thank you.